Discourse 38, Bible Discourse 38. Thy faith had made thee whole. Storm, disease, devils, death bow to the will of Jesus. Now it come to pass on a certain day that he went into a ship with his disciples, and he said unto them, Let us go over unto the other side of the lake. And they launched forth, and they sailed. He fell asleep, and there came down a storm of wind of the lake, and they were filled with water and were in jeopardy. And then came to him and awoke him, saying, Master, Master, we perish. Then he arose and rebuked the wind and the raging of the water, and they ceased, and there was a calm. And he said unto them, Where is your faith? And they, being afraid, wondered, saying one to another, What manner of man is this? For he commandeth even the winds and water, and they obey him. And they arrived at the country of the Gadarenes, which is over against Galilee. And when he went forth to land, there he met out of the city of a certain man, which had devils long time, and wear no clothes, neither abode in any house, but in the tombs. When he saw Jesus, he cried out and fell down before him, and with a loud voice, What have I to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of God Most High? I beseech thee, torment me not. For he had commanded the unclean spirit to come out of the man, for oftentimes it had caught him, and he was kept bound with chains and in fetters, and he brake the bands and was driven of the devil into the wilderness. And Jesus asked him, saying, What is thy name? And he said, Legion, because many devils were entered into him, and they besought him that he would not command them to go out into the deep. And there was there an head of many swine feeding on the mountain, and they besought him that he would suffer them to enter into them, and he suffered them. Then went the devils out of the man, and entered into the swine, and the head ran violently down a steep place into the lake, and were choked. When they had fed them, saw what was done, they fled and went and told in the city and in the country. Then they went out to see what was done, and came to Jesus, and found the man, out of whom the devils were departed, sitting at the feet of Jesus, clothed in his clothed, and in his right mind, and they were afraid. They also which saw it told them by what means he was that possessed of the devils was healed. Then the whole multitude of the country of the Gadarenes round about besought him to depart from them, for they were taken with great fear, and he went up into the ship and returned back again. Now the man out of whom the devils were departed besought him that he might be with him. But Jesus sent him away, saying, Return to thine own house, and shew how great things God hath done unto thee. And he went his way, and published throughout the whole city how great things Jesus had done unto him. And it came to pass that when Jesus was returned, the people gladly received him, for they were all waiting for him. And behold, there came a man named Jairus, and he was ruler of the synagogue, and he fell down at Jesus' feet and besought him that he would come into his house. For he had only one daughter, about 12 years of age, and she lay a dying. But as he went, the people thronged him, and a woman having an issue of blood 12 years, which had spent all her living upon physicians, neither could be healed of any, came behind him and touched the border of his garment, and immediately her issue of blood stanched. And Jesus said, who touched me? When all denied, Peter and they that were with him said, Master, the multitude throng thee and press thee, and sayest thou, who touched me? And Jesus said, somebody had touched me, for I perceive that virtue is gone out of me. And when the woman saw that she was not hid, she came trembling, and falling down before him, she declared unto him before all the people for what cause she had touched him, and how she was healed immediately. And he said unto her, Daughter, be of good comfort, thy faith hath made thee whole, go in peace. While he yet spake, there cometh one from the ruler of the synagogue's house, saying to him, Thy daughter is dead. Trouble not the master. But when Jesus heard it, he answered him, saying, Fear not, believe only, and she shall be made whole. And when he came into the house, he suffered no man to go in, save Peter and James and John and the father and the mother of the maiden. And all wept and bewailed her. But he said, Weep not, she is not dead, but sleepeth. And they laughed him to scorn, knowing that she was dead. And he put them all out, and took her by the hand, and called, saying, Maid, arise. And her spirit came again. And she arose straightway, and he commanded to give her meat. And her parents were astonished. But he charged them that they should tell no man what was done. Luke 8:22 to 56. And when Jesus departed thence, two blind men followed him, crying and saying, Thou son of David, have mercy on us. And he was come into the house. The blind men came to him, and Jesus saith unto them, Believe ye that I am able to do this? They said unto him, Yea, Lord. Then touched their eyes, saying, According to your faith, be it unto you. And their eyes were opened. And Jesus straightly charged them, saying, See that no man know it. But they, when they were departed, spread abroad his fame in all that country. As they went out, behold, they brought to him a dumb man possessed with a devil. And when the devil was cast out, the dumb spake, and the multitude marveled, saying, It was never so seen in Israel. But the Pharisees said, He casteth out devils through the prince of the devils. And Jesus went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing every sickness and every disease among the people. But when he saw that the multitude, he was moved with compassion on them, because they fainted and were scattered abroad as sheep having no shepherd. Then saith he unto his disciples, The harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few. Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest, that he will send forth laborers into his harvest. Matthew 9:27-38. Now it came to pass on a certain day that he went into a ship with his disciples, and he said unto them, Let us go over unto the other side of the lake. And they launched forth. But they launched forth. But as they sailed, he fell asleep, and there came down a storm of wind on the lake, and they were filled with water, and were in jeopardy. And then came to him and awoke him, saying, Master, Master, we perish. Then he arose and rebuked the wind and the raging of the water, and they ceased, and there was a calm. And he said unto them, Where is your faith? And they, being afraid, wondered, saying one to another, What manner of man is this? For he commandeth even the winds and water, and they obey him. Luke 8:22 to 25. Parallel reference. On the same day, when the even was come, he said unto them, Let us pass over unto the other side. And when he had sent away the multitude, they took him even as he was in the ship. And there were also with him the other little ships, and there arose a great storm of wind, and the waves beat into the ship, so that it was now full. And he was into the hinder part of the ship, asleep on a pillow. And they awake him and say unto him, Master, carest thou not that we perish? And he arose and rebuked the wind, and said unto the sea, Peace, be still. And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. And he said unto them, Why are ye so fearful? How, how, that, how it that ye have no faith? And they feared exceedingly, and said one to another, What manner of man is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him? Mark 4:35, 41. In spite of his sleep, his consciousness is always awake in the knowingness of God's omnipresence. The consciousness of great masters is ever awake. Jesus' consciousness is omniscient in spite of his sleep. The truth is, we live in this human body on a term lease, made and sustained by five elements. Attachment is a false notion, the root cause of all human suffering. Realizing the truth, the unity in the universe, gets us connected to all pervading supreme consciousness, which liberates us from the bondage and grants us peace, freedom, and joy. A human body is conscious of the sensations of his bodily pain in any 27 billion cells of his body. God's consciousness encompasses all space. It knows every happening, even in the tiniest atom of the universe. Jesus admonished us, Why do you permit ignorance? Why do you have fear and lack of faith in the all protecting power and consciousness within me? Jesus rose and addressed the sea and commanded the nature's forces, wind and water. O ye boisterous wind and tumultuous sea, governed by cosmic forces, you who are created active according to will of God, the Father with whom I am one. I commanded you to change your vibration and be peaceful and quiet. All forces of nature should subjugate to God's power which is within the body. Once Swami Sri Yukteswar, the great Kriya Yoga master, told Swami Yogananda, walking at his seaside ashram in Puri on very hot sunny day, to the disciples walking barefoot on the fiery sands. Fiery sands. I will teach a secret. The Lord shall send umbrella of clouds. You all shall walk in comfort. To the astonishment of everybody, a light rain fell, cooling the scorching seashore. Swami Sri Yukteswar said, "You see how God feels for us. The Lord responds to all and works for all." Ancient rishis, sages of India, spoke of the whole spectrum of nature as an objectification of home. The sages of India showed that all natural phenomena can be controlled through certain mantras, which are the vibrations. Tansen, the great Hindu musician, was able to quench by the power of raga of his song. Remember the calamitous effects of floods, tornadoes, earthquakes, and all other natural disasters are result of the cumulative action and thoughts of Earth's human beings. The wars create tremendous negative vibrations. Man's goodness creates or promotes peace, prosperity, and well being. That is why the good people in India do homas, yajnams, and sacrifices to appease and balance the nature whenever there is a negativity in the country that comes by way of natural calamities, diseases, and wars, etc. In the heavenly sphere of astral world, it is common to control the atmosphere and one's individual state of being. The astral beings in the lower strata have no such control. In the higher regions, they can manipulate the electronic images and forces according to the power of their will, and they arrived at the country of the Gadarenes, which is over against Galilee. And when he went forth to land, there he met him out of the city of a certain man which had devils long time and wear no clothes, neither abode in any house built but in the tombs. But when he saw Jesus, he cried out and fell down before him, and with a loud voice said, What have I do? What have I to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of God, Most High? I beseech thee, torment me not. For he had commanded the unclean spirit to come out of the man. For often times it had caught him, and he was kept bound with chains and fetters, and he brake the bands and was driven of the devil into the wilderness. Luke 8:26-29. Lunacy may not be in the derangement in the brain, but may be due to trapped soul's position. Lunacy may not be in the derangement in the brain, but may be due to trapped soul's position. The evil spirits can be exorcised or driven out by healers. Jesus had commanded, Oh, thou disembodied soul, you must give up this body. You have tormented this body enough. And Jesus asked him, saying, What is thy name? And he said, Legion. Because many devils were entered into him, and they besought him that he would not command them to go out into the deep. To go out into the deep. Luke 8:30-31. Evil spirits in the astral world are controlled by Satan. Each evil spirit is having a distinctive name and feature. Jesus asked the spirit to identify itself. The spirit identified itself as a legion, signifying many devils. Various disembodied spirits possessed the body and mind of Gadarene, and there was a there an herd of many swine feeding on the mountain, and they besought him that he would suffer them to enter into them. And he suffered them. Then went the devils out of the man, and went the devils out of the man, and entered into the swine. And the herd ran violently down a steep place into the lake and was choked. Luke 8:30 to 33. Jesus commanded the spirits to leave the body of madman. They requested him to possess the lesser sensible swine body. Then they went out to see what was done, and came to Jesus, and found the man, out of whom the devils were departed, sitting at the feet of Jesus, clothed and in the right mind, and they were afraid. They also which saw it told them by what means he was that possessed of the devils was healed. Then the whole multitude of the country of the Gadarenes, Gadarenes round about besought him to depart from them, for they were taken with great fear. And he went into the ship and returned back again. Luke 8:34 to 37. Due to their ignorance of understanding the redeeming power of Jesus, the people of Gadara were afraid of him. Caution in spiritual matters is always desirable, and the closed minds are deplorable. Superstition, magic, self-hypnosis, mediumistic spiritualism, witchcraft, or any such practices in uniting the devotee with God, yoga, by a master is supreme. Fixity in spiritual ignorance is the cause of lost opportunity for soul progress. Now the man out of whom the devils were departed besought him that he might be with him. But Jesus sent him away, saying, Return to thine own house and shew how great things God hath done unto thee. And he went his way, and published throughout the whole city how great things Jesus had done unto him. Luke 8:38-39. Masters will not have an ego, and Jesus is not an exception. Jesus spoke how great things God has done. Jesus spoke of divine power that was manifested through him. And it came to pass that when Jesus was returned, the people gladly received him, for they were all waiting for him. And behold, there came a man named Jairus, and he was a ruler of the synagogue. And he fell down at Jesus' feet and besought him that he would come into his house, for he had only one daughter, about 12 years of age, and she lay a dying. But as he went, the people thronged him, and a woman having an issue of blood 12 years, which had spent all her living upon physicians, neither could be healed of any, came behind him and touched the border of his garment, and immediately her issue of blood stanched. And Jesus said, Who touched me? When all denied, Peter and they that were with him said, Master, the multitude thronged thee and pressed thee, and sayest thou, Who touched me? And Jesus said, Somebody has touched me. I perceive that virtue is gone out of me. And when the woman saw that she was not hid, she came trembling, and falling down before him, she declared unto him before all the people for what cause she had touched him, and how she was healed immediately. And he said unto her, Daughter, be of good comfort. Thy faith hath made thee whole. Go in peace. 8:48. Faith can draw virtue or healing energy from divine personages. Mental healings or medicines only supplements the inert life force. That is the direct cause of healing. A sick person energizes his feeling, energizes his healing life force by his willpower. It is revived by the strong will of healer. Jesus said, some subtle faith seeking healing has reached my astral emanation by an astral hand and has withdrawn virtue, a life force from me. Virtue is gone out of me. By this, by this Jesus means that the healing power that went out of him, thy faith, had made thee whole. Jesus means the act receptivity of the woman who was healed. Both are necessary. Healer should have, number one, the faith of the person desirous of healing, and two, ability of healer to charge himself with the divine healing power obtained by deep regular meditation. Jesus' words, thy faith had made thee whole, signified thy mental receptivity to the divine power in me has made it possible to produce the desired healing. While he yet spake, there cometh one from the ruler of the synagogue's house, saying to him, thy daughter is dead, trouble not the master. But when Jesus heard it, he answered him, saying, fear not, believe only, and she shall be made whole. And when he came into the house, he suffered no man to go in save Peter and James and John and the father and the mother of the maiden. And all wept and bewailed her. But he said, weep not, she is not dead, but sleepeth. Luke 8:49-52. Parallel reference. While he yet spake, there came from the ruler of the synagogue's house certain which said, thy daughter is dead. Why troublest thou the matter any further? As soon as Jesus heard the word that was spoken, he said unto the ruler of the synagogue, be not afraid, only believe. And he suffered no man to follow him, save Peter and James and John, the brother of James. And he cometh to the house of the ruler of synagogue, and seeth the tumult, and them that wept and wailed greatly. And when he was come in, he saith unto them, why make ye this ado and weep? The damsel is not dead, but sleepeth. Mark 5:35-39. Jesus admonished and said, do not fill your mind with the fear of hopelessness, but believe in the all-powerful divine will within me, and your daughter shall awake from her death sleep. Avoiding the crowd, Jesus went into the household with his advanced disciples, namely Peter, James, and John. Why are you making so much fuss and show of despair? Although your eyes are seeing her as dead, I see the child sleeping in God, and she awakens through his will. And they laughed him to scorn, knowing that she was dead. And he put them all out and took her by the hand and called, saying, maid, arise. And her spirit came again, and she arose straightway. And he commanded to give her meat. And her parents were astonished, but he charged them that they should tell no man what was done. Luke 8:53-56, parallel reference. And they laughed him to scorn. When he had put them all out, he taketh the father and not the mother of the damsel, and them that were with him, and entereth in where the damsel was lying. And he took the damsel by the hand and said unto her, Talitha Kumi, which is being interpreted, damsel, I say unto thee, arise. And straightway the damsel arose and walked, for she was of the age of 12 years. And they were astonished with a great astonishment. And he charged them, and straightly and no man should know it, and commanded that something should be given her to eat. Mark 5:43. Jesus sent the doubtful away from him. Then, filled with cosmic energy, he took the hand of the dead damsel and said, Damsel, by the God consciousness and cosmic vibration that are equally present within me and your dead body, I vibrate and will with my cosmic will that you be the conscious of the life giving cosmic energy and forsake your deathly sleep. Awake, Jesus then instructed to be given something to her to eat. Saints, after coming out of the deep ecstasy, often drink water or take light nourishment to revive the consciousness of the body. To change the material man to God minded soul is greater achievement. And when Jesus departed thence, two blind men followed him, crying and saying, Thou son of David, have mercy on us. And he was come into the house. The blind men came to him, and Jesus said unto them, believe ye that I am able to do this. They said unto him, Yea, Lord. Then touched their eyes, saying, According to your faith, be it unto you. And their eyes were opened, and Jesus straightly changed them, saying, See that no man know it. But they were departed, spread about his fame in all that country. Matthew 9:27-31. Jesus commanded, According to your faith, be unto you. After the healing, Jesus said, Take care that no man, materially minded man, hear about your healing. One among many examples is recorded in Deuteronomy 34:9. And Joshua, the son of Nun, was full of the spirit of wisdom. For Moses had laid his hands upon him, and the children of Israel hearkened unto him, and did as the Lord commanded Moses. As they went out, behold, they brought to him a dumb man possessed with a devil. And when the devil was cast out, the dumb spake, and the multitude marveled, saying, It was never so seen in Israel. But the Pharisees said, He casteth out devils through the prince of the devils. And Jesus went about all the cities and villages, teaching in the synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing every sickness and every disease among the people. But when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion on them, because they fainted and were scattered abroad as sheep having no shepherd. Matthew 9:32-36. Jesus had wonderful love and compassion towards the multitudes as he traveled through busy cities and villages. They were like sheep without a shepherd. They had no spiritual guide like Jesus. Then saith he unto his disciples, The harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few. Pray ye therefore, Lord of the harvest, that he will send forth laborers into his harvest. 9:37-38. The harvest of cosmic consciousness is plenteous, but very few are the receptive devotees who will labor in meditation to sow the seeds and reap its fruit. Christ, in concert with the masters of India, taught that each devotee should regularly practice meditation and should reach step by step to the peak level. At the same time, he was praying with deepest meditation, praying unto his Father God to grant him final liberation. End of the discourse. Bible Discourse 39 Discourse Bible. A prophet hath no honor in his own country, and he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up. And as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on Sabbath day, and stood up for to read. And there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet of Isaiah, and there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet of Isaiah. And when he opened the book, he found the place where it was written, The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the broken-hearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and the recovering of the sight, and the recovering of sight to the blind, and to set at liberty them that are bruised, to preach the acceptable year of the Lord. And he closed the book, and he gave it again to the minister, and sat down. And the eyes of all them that were in the synagogue were fastened on him. And he began to say unto them, This day is this scripture fulfilled in your ears. And all bare him witness, and wondered at the gracious words which proceeded out of his mouth. And they said, He is not this Joseph's son? And he said unto them, Ye will surely say unto me this proverb, Physician, heal thyself. Whatsoever we heard done in Capernaum, do also here in thy country. And he said, Verily I say unto you, no prophet is accepted in his own country. But I tell you of the truth, many widows were in Israel in the days of Elijah, when the heaven was shut up for 3 years and 6 months, when great famine was throughout all the land, but unto none of them was Elijah sent, save unto Sarepta, a city of Sidon, unto a woman that was a widow. And many lepers were in Israel in the time of Elisha the prophet, and none of them was cleansed, saving Naaman and Syrian. And all they in the synagogue, when they heard these things, were filled with wrath, and rose up, and thrust him out of the city, and led him unto the brow of the hill whereon their city was built, that they might cast him down headlong. But he, passing through the midst of them, went his way. Luke 4:16 to 30. And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up, and as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on Sabbath day. Luke 4:16. Even though the consummate worship is to be done in the inner temple as taught by Jesus, but it was his custom to go to the synagogue on Sabbath day. He valued the group worship. Whatever superior does, the same will be followed by inferiors. यद्यदाचरति श्रेष्ठ तत्तद्देवेतरो जनाः सच्च सय प्रमाणं कुरुते लोकस्तदनुवर्तते. Gita 3rd Adhyaya 21 Sloka. Whatever karma is followed by a distinguished people, others will follow that. The ideal of great people will be motivation for others and follow them. The sadhak who got united with Parabrahman through the medium of his sadhana will become Parabrahman only. If you get the degree of doctor, then you are called and become doctor only. Average church goer goes to a church once in a week. In the remaining 6 days he indulges in material world. As such he will retain any spirituality. For some church going is a fashion, and for some it is a routine. Of course, consistency will or may develop for a regular church goer. He went to the synagogue, into the synagogue on Sabbath day, and stood up for no, stood up for to read. And there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet of Isaiah. And when he had opened the book, he found a place where it was written, The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has he has sent me to heal the broken-hearted, to preach the deliverance to the captive, and the recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised, to preach the acceptable year of the Lord. And he closed the book, and he gave it again to the minister, and sat down. And the eyes of all them that were in the synagogue were fastened on him, and he began to say unto them, This day is this scripture fulfilled in your ear. Luke 4:16-21. Jesus took the book given by prophet Isaiah, which prophesied the coming of Jesus, that of healing and salvation. Jesus read, He has anointed me for a preordained mission. The word Christ literally means anointed. The Spirit of Lord is upon my soul, when the Master is baptized with illimitable spiritual wisdom, that he can preach the gospel to the poor, to the humble recipient mounts. Matter can never satisfy spirit. None but God and Savior can rescue those repenting devotees. Those repenting devotees. They can impart assurance of salvation in the here and now, the acceptable year of the Lord, the year of the Lord's favor or amnesty. The human goes through the repeated fourfold cycles of evolution and degradation. Mental and moral capacities, mental and moral capacities goes through darkness of the material age to the enlightenment of the spiritual age and back. As per Bharatiya Sanatana Dharma, the analogy is given below. Kali Yuga, the humanity comprehends only the grossest physical aspects of creation. Dwapara Yuga, human intellect develops enough to understand and harness the finer atomic and electromagnetic forces. Treta Yuga, mental age in which the dormant powers of the mind become highly developed. Satya Yuga or Kruta Yuga, the spiritually enlightened age during which humanity as a whole in attunement with God and His laws and purposes in creation. Jesus wanted the people to understand that He was not self-elected. That is why He declared, This day is the scripture is fulfilled in your ear. And all bare Him witness and wondered at the gracious words which proceeded out of His mouth. And they said, Is not this Joseph's son? And He said unto them, You will surely say unto me this proverb, Physician, heal thyself. Whatsoever we have done in Capernaum, do also here in thy country. And he said, Verily I say unto you, no prophet is accepted in his own country. Luke 4:20-24, parallel reference. And many, hearing him, astonished, saying, Whence hath this man these things? And what wisdom is this which is given unto him, that even such mighty works are wrought by his hands? Is not this the carpenter, the son of Mary, the brother of James and Joseph, and of Judah and Simon? And are not his sisters here with us? and they were offended at him. But Jesus said unto them, a prophet is not without honor, but in his own country, and among his own kin, and in his own house. And he could there do mighty work, save that he laid his hands upon a few sick folk and healed them, and he marveled because of their unbelief. Mark 6 2 to 6. All those who were gathered there felt the magnetism of Jesus, but due to their human habit with their crooked doubt, they declared, "Oh, how could the son of our Joseph, how could the son of our Joseph be any other than an ordinary person?" यथा यथा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानम् अधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्. Gita. Here Arjun, whenever dharma, righteousness, declines and the adharma, opposite of dharma, is on the rise, then I will create myself. Energy can neither be created nor can be destroyed. One form of energy, can be transformed into another form of energy. Electrical energy can be transformed into mechanical energy and vice versa. This is called transducing. Whatever is happening in this universe or universes is for development only. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam dharma samsthapanardhaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Gita. I will incarnate in every eon to safeguard saints and sages of virtue, to destroy evildoers, and for the establishment of dharma. Everything is the incarnation or form of Parabrahman only. All waves of ocean contains that sea water only. Men of virtue and vice, ladies or gents, without any gender difference, both contains the same cosmic consciousness only. The statue or idol of Deva or demon is made or carved out of the same mud or stone only. The great divine souls, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, Jesus Christ, Mahavatar Babaji, Lahiri Mahase, and Paramahansa Yogananda, etc., have the same cosmic consciousness only. They can destroy this universe just by opening their third eye. That is not the required thing. Normal, ordinary people need not be afraid of them. They attract us toward them, show us the true path, and lead us to get united with the Parabrahman. However evil-minded the children may be, the parents always wanted them to be transformed into good souls and will be giving required good counseling. If those children follow the counseling of elders and become good citizens, it is okay. Otherwise, the parents will leave them to their fate but not kill them. Parabrahman is our mother and father both. He wanted a good transformation in us. He will never kill us for our faults. He will lead to our karma. He will leave it to our karma. Jesus told people, my dear people, you wanted me to prove by healing others as in Capernaum. Healing and acceptance signifies faith. The Almighty subjects His prophets to His inculcated spiritual laws. We are constrained to honor His laws. God gave independence to the individual to allow or deny whatever way He chooses is His will. In my own town, you have no faith in the divine in me, and as such, I cannot heal you. People gathered around him were not interested in God, as they are more interested in his cures. But I tell you of a truth, many widows were in Israel in the days of Elijah, when the heaven was shut up for 3 years and 6 months, when great famine was throughout all the land, but unto none of them was Elijah sent, save unto Sarepta, a city of Sidon, unto a woman that was a widow. And many lepers were in Israel in the time of Elisha, the prophet, and none of them was cleansed, saving Naaman the Syrian. Luke 4:25 to 27. Jesus said, in the past life Guru Elijah and himself as Elisha had been supremely endowed with healing power and could have cured thousands. Yet they healed only those God commanded them to heal in accordance with God's divine law. Sincerity of faith and devotion, not presumed obligation to family or community, is the sufficient condition for divine intercession. For divine intercession, God permitted Elijah, past life guru of Elisha, that is Jesus, no miraculous aid to the sin loving people of their own country, but God helped only spiritually deserving widow of a foreign land. Similarly, during Elisha's time with the many lepers in Israel, Sarepta, Zarephath was in or near the permanent city of Sidon in Phoenicia, not in Elijah's native country of Israel. The story of the widow whose meager story of meal and oil was miraculously replenished for many days till the end of the drought, and whose son was raised from the dead by Elijah, is told in 1 Kings 17:18 to 24. Jesus spoke, my dear countrymen, the operation of divine laws are beyond your perception. You have decreed that I cannot work multiple wonders of healing in my own country. As the prophet Elisha healed one Syrian leper, but not the multitudes in Israel, so also I do only as per God's law. It was during this time that Elijah said to God, the children of Israel have forsaken thy covenant, thrown down thine altar, and slain thy prophets with the sword. And I, even I only, am left. 1 Kings 19:14. And all they in the synagogue, when they heard these things, were filled with wrath, and rose up, and thrust him out of the city, and led him into the brow of the hill whereon their city was built, that they might cast him down headlong. But he, passing through the midst of them, went his way. Luke 4:28-30. The congregate at the synagogue became angry. The irate became murderous. They wanted to throw him to death from a very steep rock face or cliff. But God cast oblivion in the hearts of these adversaries. Jesus walked through them. One of the powers possessed by a great master is the ability to prevent any specific thought in the minds of others. The God in Jesus communicated with the God present in the souls of Nazarenes to induce a momentary lapse of their evil intent. A prophet has no honor in his own country. John 4:44. Jesus has the blessing of God to accomplish his work according to the will of God. End of discourse.